hope you're having a fantastic day, and I am back. I haven't stopped posting. I was just taking random hiatus, but for those of you who are not regular to my channel, that means nothing to you. But regardless, welcome to my review and just kind of my thoughts on Doom Eternal. Now, I just want to say this right off the bat, I think it is an amazing game, and there are a couple things that I want to mention about it. It is not for everyone, but I will get into that later. So, essentially, it is just an amazing first-person shooter that is challenging and complex. I have seen some people kind of going against Doom Eternal. I think they have their reasons, and I think they're completely justified in saying that, but I disagree with them wholeheartedly. I think it's an amazing game that definitely needs to be at least considered buying. The graphics are amazing. I played it on the original PS4. I don't have the PS4 Pro or anything like that, but even just with that, the graphics are amazing. Everything is smooth, stunning. There's a lot of blood and gore. If you're not so much into that, I would definitely recommend checking out some gameplay beforehand, just to see if you can't stomach it before you actually buy it for one reason or another. If you don't like blood, just check out some gameplay beforehand and just make sure that you can stomach that and all that stuff. I actually don't know. There might be a setting somewhere in there that you can turn it off, but I did not go looking for it because I am okay with it. But if you're not, just something to consider and watch out. Jumping away from that, I have a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of gameplay, but before I even get into that, just kind of what I want to talk about is just kind of everything that you can kind of collect in the world, because a lot of the gameplay kind of revolves around what you can collect. In the game there are skins, gun skins, perks, passive abilities, gun upgrades, suit upgrades, just a whole bunch of stuff that you have to navigate through the world and collect through secrets, and you kind of have to do one thing that might open up another way, or you just have to look for a specific way into the secret area to be able to actually get the item you're looking for. As I mentioned, a lot of stuff to pick up, just a lot of replay value in there, and for some of these things like the gun skins and the skins for your avatar in-game, a lot of these kind of depend on you hitting milestones within the game. So like getting a certain amount of damage with a specific gun, killing X amount of demons, stuff like that will help you unlock skins for your gun, skins for your avatar, all that kind of stuff. But as I mentioned, it all kind of revolves around doing stuff within the actual Doom gameplay. Now for the gameplay itself, as I mentioned, it is smooth, tight. Fights are fun and challenging, and they can get a bit frustrating, but once you kind of figure out the flow of combat and you're just kind of the way you can flow through a specific area, it becomes a lot easier, and you'll know what I mean by flow in a little bit. I'm going to expand on that. But ammo is scarce, but you can actually replenish your ammo via chainsaw kills. Health can tend to be scarce, but you can replenish that through glory kills. That's when you get enough hits on a specific enemy, and then they'll start flashing like an orange and a blue, and then you can go up and melee them for a gory, bloody kill, and then you get some health from that. And you also need more armor consistently throughout the game, and so you can also replenish that through fire with your flamethrower that is mounted that has to recharge, or through the grappling hook shotgun or super shotgun that you can upgrade later. All these things can be tweaked, upgraded, as I mentioned, with everything that you can collect within the world itself. And so there's examples like that, just modifications to guns themselves, which you then get points that you can then again use to unlock special, you can upgrade the modifications from there, either like quicker reload time or just a better damage output, just kind of stuff like that that will help you throughout your progression through the Doom universe and through the Doom story. And so with all that being said, as I said, ammo is scarce, health can be scarce, and definitely armor can be scarce as well. What I meant when I talked about flow is keeping all of this in mind as you're working your way through the Doom world, because it is not just like, oh, I got hit a lot in this one area. You will more likely get hit, and especially on higher difficulties, you will definitely get hit more and more. And so you'll kind of have to go through this progression of checking your health, keeping an eye on your armor, keeping an eye on your ammo, and with that you will have to kind of dance around the arena that you're given in specific areas to to know the right time to chainsaw enemies to pick up more ammo, know the right time to do glory kills so you can get more health, know the right time when you have to set enemies on fire to be able to pick up more armor. Just a lot of this stuff is interconnected, and a lot of things you just need to kind of keep a constant eye on as you have to constantly move. That is one thing that I cannot stress. If you are making your way through the game, you cannot be standing still. You have to be constantly moving to make it or make it through the Doom campaign. It is just a must. And so that's kind of what I meant by the flow, because if you look up some people that play on the hardest of the hard difficulties, you will kind of see they have a very specific flow, almost kind of like a choreographed dance around the arena that they are in, chainsawing people, doing glory kills, all this kind of stuff. Just to be able to survive in the campaign. So aside from the standard campaign stuff, within the campaign there is also different opportunities to kind of take on some challenges throughout the game as well. There are two opportunities for that. There's one thing called Slayer Gates, and there are also other, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like a challenge fight. So you have like 30 seconds to kill like 2 very specific demons or something like that, and that is just kind of the special fights or the special encounters that you can experience throughout the different levels of Doom. Now, for the Slayer Gates, first you have to find a key within the world itself. So once you find the key, then you have to take that key back to the gate and unlock it from there. And then within that, you are then transported to a separate arena where you then make your way through it, and again, just killing a whole bunch of demons and all that good stuff. For the most part, the Slayer Gates are supposed to be more challenging than the area that you are currently in. Do keep that in mind, but the Slayer Gates will play a bit of a role, because you do actually get a good chunk of rewards from completing the Slayer Gates, which will allow you for, obviously, general progression, again, upgrading stuff, upgrading guns, your armor, and unlocking a special gun, which I actually have not gotten to yet. But speaking of guns, there are 8 to 9 guns in total. 8 guns that you will get through just a regular playthrough within the campaign. There are 2 shotguns, 2 kind of like assault rifles as things, there are 2 energy weapons, and then there's a rocket launcher and the BFG, which, if you know Doom at all, you know what the BFG is. Each of the class of guns share its own weapon type. So the 2 shotguns share ammo, the 2 assault rifles, the 2 assault-esque rifles will share ammo, the 2 energy weapons will share ammo, and then the rocket launcher has its own ammo, and then the BFG has its own ammo as well. And then, as I mentioned, there's a 9th gun. Once you complete a Slayer Gate, you will get a special key, and then you take that key back to your Fortress of Doom, which is kind of like the hub for everything that you do within the game. That's where you start levels, that's where you can go and upgrade stuff. Just kind of explore that and find some very interesting things in there as well. But you will take the key back to a specific point in the hub world, and then you will be able to unlock this gun. As I mentioned, I have not actually gotten this gun yet. I'm currently going back trying to collect all the items, make it through all the Slayer Gates and just all the special encounters, so I can eventually get that gun as well. Some words of warning. I mentioned this at the beginning. I had some things that I wanted to mention for people who want to play this game. It is not your typical first-person shooter. As I went into earlier, it has a specific flow in combat, and that flow and the feel of the game overall is different than many of the shooters that are out there. So different from Call of Duty, different from like any Battlefield game, because even comparing those two, Call of Duty is definitely like a faster-paced game versus Battlefield, which is kind of like slower, but it just has a different feel to it overall, and this is the same idea. There's a different feel overall to the flow of combat in this game. And with that being said, once you figure out that flow of how you need to make your way around the arena and train yourself to be able to kind of keep an eye on everything that you do need to watch out for, the game does become a lot easier. I really don't have any gripes with this game. A caveat to that is, I did have some gripes at the beginning of my experience, just playing through the initial stages. I was frustrated with the lack of ammo, the lack of health, the lack of armor, all that stuff. But all of these concerns were addressed when I finally figured out the flow of combat, just because it does feel so drastically different that you have to rethink the way that you play first-person shooters, and you have to adjust how you play to this game specifically. So with that being said, that's all I've really got to say about this game. It's just an amazing game. I can definitely recommend it. If you have played the last Doom, it is just more, if you have played Doom 2016, it is definitely a continuation of it in terms of gameplay. A little bit of story, but it's kind of whatever. All that stuff, it is just an amazing game that I think, if it sounds like it is something for you, that you should definitely go and pick up. If you are still hesitant, I mentioned that you should go out and check out some gameplay. Now, I actually streamed the whole campaign on my channel. I will link that down in the description below, so you can check that out. Feel free to go take a look. I don't care if you do or not. There's also a lot of other people who have done a review on this game and have their own gameplay, and it's all great. You should definitely just go check it out, because it is just an amazing game to play. With that being said, if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to hit me up down in the comment section down below. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out when just working with the YouTube algorithm and all that shenanigans. And if you really do enjoy this video and enjoy seeing my face, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and also remember to ring the little bell so you know when I post new videos or when I stream or any other that good stuff. Also, feel free to follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, yes. And with that being said, this is 3G Geek, signing off.